Good afternoon, everybody, and we are back. I am Shawnee, and welcome to the Shawnee View, designed for happy life, engineered to last. The purpose of my podcast is to exemplify dreams and goals and how to achieve them through self motivation and inspiration from others. There's a saying, give a man a fish and you feed him for a day. Teach a man to fish and you feed him for a lifetime. So, we are here with our special guest, none other than AC No Slater, Arielle Clarke.
Yes.
How are you today, ma'am?
I am doing well. Thank you so much for having me.
That's good. That's good. Oh my God, I haven't seen you in years and decades.
Yeah, really and truly decades. Yes.
Decades. Oh my God. So it's definitely a pleasure to have you on the Shawnee View.
Oh, thank you so much.
Who would have ever known, right? Okay. So how has life been treating you since decades ago? Since I guess high school?
Since high school, all has been well. Definitely a lot of growing and trials and parenthood and living.
Yeah. I completely understand that. You got mommyhood going on and marriage and just a full adulthood life.
Yes. True adulthood at this point. Yeah.
So your daughter just left for school.
Yes.
So as an icebreaker, I like to ask, what is on your current playlist or a song that's in steady rotation for you?
Ooh, okay. So lately I've been listening to this artist named Capella Gray.
Capella Gray.
Yeah.
What's the genre?
So it's like R&B, but it's like Caribbean vibes.
Okay.
And it's like he sings, but he's like sing rapping. Like it's It's a nice little vibe. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And his album is called Vibe Responsibly. And
okay.
It's nice.
I was gonna ask why that song and that artist vibing responsibly.
Yeah, and that's the album. So like one of the songs that I like off the album is called Antics, but it's a vibe the whole thing, and it's not a bunch of long songs. So you can kind of like, before you even really get into your groove, it's going to the next song.
Really?
And I love that. It's
how did you find this artist?
He was on the Joe Budden show.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. He was on the Joe Budden show, and he was on there once before, and I think I missed the one before, but I saw the one where he had dropped his album. And I was like, let me check him out, because he was so swaggy and he was just super confident. And I was like, this like young entrepreneur, like you could tell he was really about his business. So I was like, let me check him out. And I did, and I was like, it's really a vibe. It truly is a vibe.
Out. Yeah, I'm gonna have to check him out.
You should.
Probably on the way home.
Right. It's like, it reminds me of summers in New York, and I love a good New York summer. I love a good
that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and he's from New York, so it's like it really goes. Yeah.
Okay. So speaking of dope artists, I know that you are a podcast host.
Yes.
Of a show that I actually tune into.
Thank you so much.
Check, please.
Yes.
And I was intrigued by your last episode, episode 51, which you were asking if we are becoming a classless society.
Correct.
That is the perfect question right now during this whole, I guess, 2024 presidential election. Which is it's very interesting to me. So I would say yes, we are becoming a classless society. What is your take on that?
I mean, so I was
like, how did we get here?
Just a lot of acceptance of nonsense and just distraction and sweeping under the rug very big issues because we want to be entertained.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
And it's not entertaining.
It's not. It's actually really sad. Like, once you have that vision of what's really going on. Like when you wake up into the reality of it, it's like, what?
Right.
What happened?
Right. And how did all this happen?
Yeah.
We allowed it.
Yeah. So
yeah.
Watching the people who are, I guess, competing to be the leaders of the nation, watching them has been very entertaining, which is a distraction from what's really going on. But it's like, at the same time, they're telling us and showing us what's really going on.
Correct. In real time.
Right.
And all you have to do is pay attention.
Right. It's true.
You'll see it.
It has been a lot of acceptance. I know, like, for different times in my life, if I went wayward, it definitely came from a wounded place. Like, it was never just something that I came out of with like a conscious mindset.
Exactly.
You know? Yes. So programming is a real thing.
It's so real. It's so real.
I know you mentioned in your episode about we need to get back to responsibilities.
Yes.
I think the ideologies has changed a lot.
Absolutely.
And then you mentioned preserving the innocence of children. That stood out to me. I was like, okay, yeah, I'm about to talk to her about this.
Yeah.
So what can we do?
I mean, we have to limit the exposure. Because I feel like a lot of parents, especially in our age range, they're so busy like, well, they're going to learn it anyway. They're going to see it anyway. It might as well be here. And it's like, that's not something you should be. That's that
acceptance thing again.
That's that acceptance thing. You shouldn't be exposing or overexposing your child to anything without just, being able to guide them through it. Because it's like they'll just showcase it or they'll show it in, different mediums like cartoons. You would think cartoons are safe. A lot of the dialogue is for parents. It's not for these kids.
So if the kid is watching it and the parent is cleaning up or doing whatever, then you hear something out of line. You're like, what? What are you watching?
And I'd be quick, turn that off. Quick, turn that off. Why can't we turn it off? Because I'm like, what is that? But you think it's safe because it's, it's fun, it's happy, it's joyous, but it's very deceptive,
Right.
And I'm just not here for that. I feel like these kids deserve a chance to not have to be more mature than they're ready to be, because there are so many adults that are of age walking around with absolutely juvenile mentalities.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where it's like, yes, you're adulting, yes, you're making adult decisions because at your age you're required to.
Right.
But that doesn't mean mentally you are absolutely focused and there to be able to even accept. It's like Arrested Development in real time.
Right.
And I'm just, why do we want to have more of that? You know what I mean?
It's true.
Let these kids learn on their own. Everything is just so rushed. I'm telling you, we live in a microwave society. Everything's rushed.
I know you mentioned something about Insta fame or, society, everyone is trying to just be instantly famous.
Viral.
It's like, what is the purpose of it? Like, what are your intentions on wanting to be instantly viral or famous? If you have like good intentions and you're trying to like this conversation that we're having right now, then you want that to get out to the masses as soon as possible.
Absolutely.
But if it's a twerking contest or something like that, I don't think we really need to see that.
That doesn't need to be spread everywhere, but that's the type of stuff that ends up going viral.
There's a time and place for everything.
Absolutely.
I definitely grew up being taught that. Not to say that I'm perfect, but
nobody will ever be.
But it's just like there's a time and place for everything.
Absolutely.
And I don't like getting on social media and it just looks like I'm watching porn. Like if somebody walked past, I just so happened to scroll and
I was
like, "That okay? Let me go on and mute that.
Let me go ahead and hide this and mute that because where did this come from?"
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
So yeah, that viral. It's like you said, viral for what reason?
Yeah.
You have to be intentional.
Yeah, you definitely have to be intentional.
But just trying to out entertain can be so detrimental to everything and everyone. And going viral doesn't mean anything having to do with money. It just has to do with more people seeing who you are and want to be in your business.
It's the fame part.
Yeah, but want to be in your business. So now you have to perform. Right. Now you have to, rely on these people who don't want to do anything but see a train wreck in real time.
Right. No. It's crazy. And then you can't really blame them because now you're worn out because you asked for it.
This is what you asked for. This is what you decided you wanted to be known for.
Right.
So now you got to keep up with it. Now you got to try to outdo yourself with your own ignorance.
Yeah. that's a big so you're just running around in a circle.
In a circle.
Oh my God, with self-inflicted pain.
Absolutely. This was your fault.
No accountability. It's everybody else's fault.
Yeah.
That's really sad.
It is. It is.
You mentioned something about role models. Like, who do the kids have to look up to?
I want to know.
It starts at home.
It absolutely does. Yes.
And I was a co-host for a show, like briefly, called Raising Wisdom, and we actually did an episode kind of like this. But we titled it what was it? Defined Femininity, Media and Response and its Representation.
Okay.
So, but we never really got to the end of like, what can we do like as a collective, like as a whole, to turn this whole thing around?
I mean, the biggest thing I would say is being accountable. If you are subscribing to and basically repeating ignorance, that's something that has to be looked at. That's a first-hand take of being like, should I really be doing, like, what is this going to benefit me?
Right.
How is this going to represent me to the best of my ability? Am I actually representing my highest self moving like this? Yeah. And then the messages, that you're delivering to whomever you decide you feel you should be influencing. Right. Are you intentionally influencing them the proper way? Are you like, will they be able to have a future based on what you're instilling in them? Right. Because a lot of people know it's today. It's this weekend. That's as far as you've gone, as far as your thought process. There's no foresight.
They can't see anything past that.
Nothing.
And that's really sad.
It's a problem.
It's a lot of people walking around like that.
No
it's just
plan.
Empty. Like, just, I can't really say empty souls. Like, what does that mean?
No plan. You don't have
like,
any
how do
type
you
of
not have a plan? Like, I can't fathom that. Like,
right. Especially if you out here and you have people who are dependent on you, like kids.
Oh, yeah.
How do you not have a plan?
Right.
For yourself, but then you're trying to instill something in them. You want them to do something, but they have nothing to see. Right? Because sometimes kids are visual. They need to see it.
Most children are visual.
People don't think about that. They're like, oh, they'll get it later. Will they?
Right.
Did you?
Okay. Right. Like, right. So, like, still learning at this age, you can only imagine what it's like for a child. And then do you not remember your childhood? And,
mind you, what are you directing them towards? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's the type of stuff that I want people to be more conscious of. It's like, it's so funny to be entertaining, right? Yeah. It's so funny to be sarcastic, right? Yeah. It's so funny to be, I guess, demeaning when somebody's actually trying to better themselves. Yeah. Especially amongst people who look like us.
Right.
That's frowned upon. Something where you're actually trying to do, oh, you lame because you, like, what? Because I'm actually trying. It's a problem for you. Like, so you want us to just be doing what together? Like,
right.
What?
I completely understand that.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. So it's like, that is the main thing I would say. Try to be mindful of what you're actually putting out for yourself and to influence others. Yeah.
Because once you reach that level of consciousness,
it should definitely be embedded in your subconsciousness.
Absolutely.
So that now you can operate natural, like a place of it's organic and just naturally flowing.
Yes.
Like it's not something that's forced or that you're trying to figure out. It's just now this is second nature for you. Well, now we want it to be first nature.
Right. It was second nature. Now it needs to be first. Right. It needs to be your intentional movements and your progression for yourself.
Yeah.
And for others.
Yeah. And you got to think about your future. Like, I think that's what an issue is with today's society a lot too, is people don't really see the future. Like it's a hopeless place. So us having a conversation like this is like we hear it and we have conversations with, probably our close circles about things such as, but none of it is really broadcast to the world as a primary. Like this is what we should be working on. This is like, I keep going back to the candidates thing because I just cannot believe I cannot believe what
this
I'm
is
witnessing.
What we have succumbed to. Like these are the choices.
Like I want to know why I should vote for, the people who are running. I don't want to know about, well, this person has these felonies. This person did this in college. Just tell me why I should vote for you as the leader of our nation.
Currently, what are you doing now?
Yeah,
what
tell
do you
me
plan
that.
On doing? Yeah, where are we going from here?
That's all I want to know.
Your credentials, especially if you haven't actually made an impact in a proper way. I need to know what you plan on doing that's actually going to be beneficial.
Right. That part. That's it. That's all I want to know. I don't want to know about the personal lives. No. I could care less about that. So
and I can't prove it. So I need to know what you're actually willing and able to do. What are your policies? What are you trying to change? What are you trying to implement? Who are you actually trying to represent?
Right. That part.
Because that representation piece is real foggy right now on all sides.
I know. Completely. So it just brought how important it is for us to vote within our local community.
Absolutely.
Because that's going to have the bigger impact on us.
Yes.
So maybe okay, let me go and study. Like who is doing what here? Because I can't do anything about the people on TV.
Doing the most and the least. Yeah.
Right. One is an actual actor. Like
yes.
We went to the movies at my son's or after my son's graduation, basic training graduation, to see Inside Out 2.
Okay.
I had never seen part 1. But this was the perfect movie. It was the perfect movie for that specific time frame. Because now all of us keep thinking about, the different characters throughout the movie. Like, okay, that was anxiety. Anxiety is out of control.
Yes.
Like, was anxiety in part 1?
Now, don't get me to telling you who the characters were, because I'm like, I knew Anger the most because he was red. He had
he's hilarious.
He's so funny.
You would remember Anxiety.
Okay, so I don't think Anxiety. I think you watch Sadness was the main character. Because Sadness and Joy were having like a standoff with each other. She's like, "Girl, stop touching these memories. You're making them bad.
Like, chill out." Okay, wait till you see Anxiety.
Okay,
girl, just all over the place. Just the way that they even illustrated the character. The hair is like all over the place, and she's just like
frantic,
clicking on everything, just making everything worse and worse.
Oh my god, I have to watch that. I'm gonna check it out.
So even though I have witnessed people in anxious states, as well as myself, just seeing that illustration is like, oh, it's really gonna help me chill out.
Yeah, you can remember that little character. Like, okay, that's not me.
Like I'm doing too much.
Doing too much. Exactly.
Just peel it back a little bit.
Yeah.
But like you said, people don't really expect you to do, and even if they do expect you to do way above and beyond what you imagine for yourself, you still have to be there for yourself.
Period.
And have, I always talk about self-care.
Yes.
And
so
important. And have self-awareness.
And have self-awareness.
That's where that accountability comes in.
Yes, because you have to start with you before you can apply anything to anyone else. Yeah. You have got to.
You cannot apply anything to anybody else before you do yourself.
No.
Oh, that's insane.
What? Yes. Like, because it's like having expectations that you haven't even done. Like, right. No, you don't get to skip and be like, well, you need to, like, no. What do you need to do? You know?
If I went through anything that I found myself blaming on anybody else, it never really held any weight. No. Like, you know what? I can't be mad at them. Right. What did I do?
Right. How did I allow this? Or what could I have done differently? Yeah. You know, and certain situations won't always apply to you with that. But most of the time you can find a way where it's like, I saw this and I didn't do what I was supposed to do. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
Like, completely.
You knew.
You can try to change the words around how you want to. Right. But not fooling nobody.
Right. You still allowed it, accepted it, whatever the case. So, yeah.
Okay. If not in a toxic household or dysfunctional family, but what did your family teach you as far as what those standards should be when you are looking for a mate, a lifelong mate, other than this person's looks or their pockets? Like, what about their moral beliefs? What about their values?
So I was taught, and I learned from experience of observing my family dynamic go from a married household to a divorced household.
Okay.
What I should be accepting, what I should be allowing as far as just who is going to be in my space.
Okay.
Right? Now, when it comes to the things that I was taught, right? So my morals, got to be respectful. You have to be honest. Because I learned about lies and things like that growing up, you know, just secrecy and certain things where it's like, that shouldn't be, you know, like it shouldn't be like that.
Right.
But it was more like observation for me versus somebody like teaching me, okay, you need to look at this, right?
Okay.
So I just observed, and I was a really observant child. So I peeped stuff and I'm like, oh,
yeah.
Never.
That's
not a thing. Yeah, like what's that? Or you'll look back in hindsight and think about like, okay, that's interesting, because I remember like learning certain things that I didn't know were dysfunctional. Right. And then adapting to those things because it's familiar.
Yeah.
You have to get away from that. So technically speaking, me actually learning how to date, I had to unlearn a lot of things.
Definitely.
Yeah, like a lot of things. Like to just be like, this is not acceptable, you know? Or why do I feel like that's okay? Right. And then you have to kind of make that connection. Like, what did you see that made you feel like this was okay to do? You know what I mean? And then you have to just work from there. Like, no, that's not a thing.
I think like I was asking, how did we get to this point? It's a hypersexual society.
Absolutely.
Which I said it came from wounds. Like people see it as liberation, right?
Oh my goodness.
But it's really degrading
and damage,
and you're being exploited.
Yes.
Not like, people might clap and whatever,
they're not celebrating
twerking, whatever, but it's really,
you're not being celebrated.
They're seeing you as a joke because you're not the one that they're going to want to marry.
No, there's no respect there. There's no absolute admiration there. There's no anything except for you are willing and they are willing to participate in your willingness.
Oh, definitely. Then they're going to leave you alone and you're just going to be looking crazy by yourself.
Period.
While they moved on with their lives.
And that imagery lives forever.
It does. It does.
Depending on, you know, who's there and who's recording what, because, you know, everything's a movie now. So you got to record it.
Girl, just... It's crazy, like just living in the cyber world, the digital world. I was watching this show called Bridgerton.
Okay.
Have you ever seen it?
I have not. My mom watches it, but I do not watch it. Is it good?
I think it's good.
Okay.
Shonda Rhimes
is
one of
I'm
her
familiar.
productions. So
okay.
All of her stuff is good.
It is.
She's a great writer.
Very talented, yeah.
Yeah, we're a classless society.
Absolutely.
Like completely.
And it's unfortunate because the thing about it is my main goal, like no matter what the setting is, if I'm being recorded or I'm being in a position where I'm in public, right? I'm always wanting to represent my family, always wanting to represent my kids. Even when before I was married, I was like, man, if my kids ever are able to look me up on the internet, I don't ever want it to be something crazy. Right. You know, like, and that's for real. Like, mind you, we were the internet age. Like, we started out everything. We weren't here for the dial-up.
That's true.
So it's like, you just think about, right. So you think about back then, me being like, now keep in mind, we used to wild out in the club and all of that stuff. But it's like, to a degree in a certain place. You're not just on the internet giving it up. Yeah. Nobody's just doing the most and recording it because that's just crazy. What's happening now. It's like that's what's popular. Yeah. Who can outdo each other with just absolutely lewd and just attention grabbing?
Who can go the lowest?
Right.
How low can you go?
How low can you go? Yeah. And the consideration is nothing. Not your integrity, not your life later on, not your life after this. Just what can you do right now? Right. What are you willing to do? Oh, you lit. Right. If that's lit, guess what?
Some people are aware of it and conscious of it, and then a lot are just
oblivious. Yeah. And they're just speaking
going along with it. Because like you said, because that's what's going on right now. Like that's the norm.
That's the norm.
And they don't know where it came from.
Right. So you out here being intentionally dysfunctional and then expecting some positive results? Right. How? Like that's not a thing.
Girl, it's about money to them, I guess. Like,
child, if you get there. There's so many people who are viral today, here, gone tomorrow. We don't know nothing about you but your meme. You are blowing in the wind. Back to your job, whatever you were doing before.
It's true.
It's true.
Oh my God,
girl. Or trying to do and pull out all the stops to remain relevant, which is a whole nother set of just setbacks and just degradation, and just like you said, how low can you go? Because you got to get low. Right. You got to get low.
This is a complete burnout. Yes. Like, where are we going?
From burnout, though, from a point of you weren't even supposed to be known for that. Who said you were supposed to be known for that? So now you want to be continuing to be known? Okay. Yep. Okay. Do it. I don't know what to tell you. I don't pay your bills. I don't know.
Oh my God.
But I hate it.
Hilarious. Do you have a recent testimony?
Yes.
Let's have it.
My recent testimony has been to not force things. Oh. That is what I have learned.
Okay.
And I had a very recent experience corporate America, where basically I was being told one thing, and then when I accepted, everything shifted, right?
Was it like miscommunication?
No. It was like offered me this, then told me it was going to be this, and this, and this too.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, okay. I don't know about this. You know, so I had to think about it because I'm like, I'm a woman of integrity. I've already accepted. Let me, try to figure this out.
Right.
And I mean, couldn't sleep for 2 weeks trying to figure it out.
Wow.
Called a family meeting and everything. Like pulled in my parents, my in-laws, like, hey, I need your help on this. Trying to make sure that I'm not letting down who I say that I am and who I represent, right?
Right.
And they were like, tell them no.
Okay. That support system, girl. Yes.
They were like, tell them no. And I was like, And I kept hearing, do not try to force this. You need to step back. And I was like, okay.
That's
so I stepped back. Right. It was a great opportunity for me to really just be out of the way, right? So I said, I'm sorry, I'm not going to be able to do it, but I thank you so much. You know, it was a good opportunity. It's not my opportunity.
Yeah.
They came back because I got out of the way. And I'm like, let them figure it out, right?
Right.
You got it. Somebody will do it, right? Nobody would do it. So they had to change how they wanted things done.
Right.
And they were like, we need you. They said, we need you to do it.
Wow.
And we can't get anybody else to do it. We need you to do it. And I said, okay.
Wow.
And once I got out of the way, and I did not try to force it, right? Because, we'll just figure it out. I'm just going to figure it out. And then you end up spreading yourself thin, trying to do too much for too little.
Yeah.
They're not willing to bend, but you're willing to bend. Right. You're willing to do everything, putting everybody else in jeopardy, putting my family in a crazy situation, trying to pull out all these extra stops because I'm just trying to be a good employee. And
believe me,
God kept telling me, set back.
Yeah.
And you see. And they were like, okay, so we need you. You can't get anybody else to do it.
Right.
We think that you're absolutely qualified for the job. It's not even like we tried to find somebody else and it just didn't work out. No, it was like, it's not working out.
Right.
We need you specifically. And I'm like, oh.
Right.
So then the terms changed. And we got on the same accord.
Wow.
And I was able to accept what was ultimately for me. But I had to step back to do it.
That is an amazing testimony. Because that shows the power of setting boundaries.
Listen.
You have to let them know.
I was like, thank you.
Yeah. And that's something like people aren't used to you declining or saying no. Automatically that's coined or seen as being a negative thing. No, saying no and declining stuff can get you in rooms and places that you that a lot of people can't even fathom. Just because you said no.
Just because you said no, you stood on what you had going on. My main thing was making sure I wasn't overburdening my family.
Right.
Because me and my husband have worked hard to build a structure that makes it very, easy for us to maneuver. So putting extra strain for unforeseen circumstances, mind you, once you say yeah, it's always going to be changing.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, I don't think we're going to be able to do this.
Right.
And it's okay. And I had to make peace with it after 2 weeks of no sleep.
Right. Like, you had to make a decision.
I did.
You made a good decision.
And they had to go back to the drawing board and rethink.
Right.
And I'm okay with that.
Right. That is a great testimony.
Yes, girl. It was real.
Wow. Like when you're moving forward, like if you just give up, then you didn't even give yourself that chance.
Never gave yourself a chance.
To reach all of the many opportunities that were waiting for you.
Correct. On the other side of I can't,
Yeah.
So yeah, you gotta move forward.
Just dive in.
Yeah.
Just go. Do what you gotta do.
Yeah. And make it digestible for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Nobody's telling you, hey, I need you to get a piece of the moon real quick and bring it.
Right.
Like nobody said that.
Right.
Like make it attainable for yourself. Set your own goals. Make sure that you're holding yourself accountable to that goal. Don't start announcing it before you do it.
That.
Because you get hyped up and you're like, I did it. You talking about it. You didn't do it. You spoke.
True.
You spoke on it.
Yeah.
You didn't do it yet.
Yeah.
Do it. Then talk about it. And then, if you need that support system, then say that, right?
Yeah.
But you still got to make sure you're leading with intention to be able to do it.
Definitely have to lead with intention.
What?
Even if you set that goal for yourself to get a piece of the moon, we don't know that.
Once again,
we don't know that that's what you're trying to do.
Until you bring it back and be like, yo, I got a piece of the moon. I just really just thought about it, planned it out, spent a couple thousand years thinking about it.
Right. Right. Right.
But yeah, do it.
Yeah. I like that. Well, just don't speak about it, be about it.
Seriously, like walk it like you talk it for real, but make sure you walk it first.
Right. Definitely so. Well, It has been a really good interviewing you. Just all good energy. I love it.
I knew I love you so much anyway.
I knew it was going to be great energy already. I was looking forward to today.
Me too. I was like,
yeah. So I think this episode was a success. Yes. Definitely. So hopefully,
thank you so much for having me.
I was going to say, hopefully I can have you back.
Absolutely.
For a part 2.
I'm always here. Always. Okay. Let me know and I am available for you.
Okay. Okay. Well, this is the lovely Miss Arielle Clarke.
Yes.
You have any socials or anything on how we can get in touch with you?
Yes. So my Instagram is civil. Oh no, well, that's my other business, but no, I'll do my my podcast. Right. It's check please _podcast. And that's on my Instagram. So check please _podcast. Or you can find me on Twitter. And my Twitter handle is no_Slater. So that's no_SLATER.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
If you like what you hear, please follow, subscribe, like, add, request, comment, and share. Yeah, all of that good stuff. See you Monday.